So finally, the Trump emails regarding the fact that he knew that Epstein was a pedophile have started to slowly release, and I'm about to break it down for you. The first one, I think, is a little bit interesting because these fuckers know that they have to talk in code because they're pedophiles, they're human traffickers. And they understand that even if you delete the emails, the text, like, they're still going to be able to be found. So I'm going to explain what exactly Epstein is talking about in this specific email. The Oversight Committee released these this morning. This is from Jeffrey Epstein to Ghislaine Maxwell. I want you to realize that that dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Victim spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned. Police chief, etc. I'm 75% there. So if you didn't know, Jeffrey Epstein used to be an English teacher. He really loved English literature. Watching the Majority Report, and this was mentioned, and I thought it would be really interesting to share. Dog barked, the fuck? This is what it means. The reference to the dog that hasn't barked originates from the Sherlock Holmes story, The Adventure of Silverblade by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. In the story, a famous racehorse named Silverblaze disappears and its trainer is murdered. Sherlock Holmes points out a critical clue to Scotland Yard detective Gregory in their dialogue. Gregory, is there any other point to which you would wish to draw my attention? Holmes, to the curious incident of the dog in the nighttime. Gregory, the dog did nothing in the nighttime. Holmes, that was the curious incident. That the fact that the watchdog failed to bark when an intruder was present led Holmes to the conclusion that the intruder was someone the dog knew, specifically the horse trainer and the dog's master, who was the actual culprit in the horse's disappearance, though he was an initial victim of a separate crime. The phrase has since become a popular idiom in English, referring to drawing an inference from an absence of expected evidence or an event that should have happened but didn't. Next email. This is from December 15, 2015, between Michael Wolff and Jeffrey Epstein. Michael Wolff, I hear CNN planning to ask Trump tonight about his relationship with you, either on air or in scrum afterwards. Jeffrey Epstein, if we were able to craft an answer for him, what do you think it should be? Michael Wolff, I think he should hang himself. Kind of fucking ironic considering how Jeffrey Epstein died. If he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the house, then that gives you a valuable PR and a political currency. You can hang him in a way that potentially generates a positive benefit for you. Or if it really looks like he could win, you could save him, generating a debt. Of course, it is possible that when asked, he'll say Jeffrey is a great guy and has gotten a raw deal and is a victim of political currency, which is to be outlawed in a Trump regime. This is in 2018. This is between Kathy Racemaker and Jeffrey Epstein. Kathy Racemaker, here's a story from the New York Times I thought you'd find interesting. The principled case for impeachment is closer. What's missing is the coverage. Jeffrey, I think he makes the argument that it was Trump's money, making it not illegal, though he also said he only found out afterwards. And the fact, according to indictment, was billed as services rendered and grossed up. Sure, his account has flipped anyway. I did talk in detail to Star yesterday, RE indictments, how Trump can make a deal. Special counsel, Clinton's trash can. Yes, Star gave one more. Each. Kathy Racemaker, it makes no difference whether it was his money. Issue is failure to disclose. Plus fact that he has lied his ass off about it makes closer than he knew it was illegal. Jeffrey, you see, I knew how dirty Donald is. My guess is that lawyers, New York biz people have no idea what it means to have your fixer flip. Michael Wolff, this is from 2019. Victim's name, Mar-a-Lago. Sentence redacted. Trump said he asked me to resign. Never a member ever. Of course he knew about the girls, as he asked Ghislaine to stop. This is the only one that I kind of understand. I also want to let everyone know that Ghislaine Maxwell is trying to get a pardon. So this does not look good if he pardons her. Just saying. This is kind of interesting is because here's a clip of Trump saying, well, Jeffrey stole one of my girls.
Epstein has a certain reputation, obviously. Just curious, were some of the workers that were taken from you, were some of them young women?
Were some of them
young women?
Well, I don't want to say, but everyone knows the people that were taken. And it was the concept of taking people that work for me is bad. But that story's been pretty well out there. And the answer is yes, they were.
Yes, they were young.
Yeah.
What did they do?
In the spa.
Jobs in the spa.
Yeah, people that work in the spa. I have a great spa, one of the best spas in the world at Mar-a-Lago. And people were taken out of the spa, hired by him. In other words, gone. And other people would come and complain, this guy is taking people from the spa. I didn't know that. And then when I heard about it, I told him, I said, listen, we don't want you taking our people, whether it was spa or not spa. I don't want him taking people. And he was fine. And then not too long after that, he did it again. And I said, out of here.
Mr. President, did one of those stolen, persons, that include Virginia Jeffrey?
I don't know. I think she worked at the spa. I think so. I think that was one of the people. Yeah. He stole her. And by the way, she had no complaints about us, as you know.
I think it's important to acknowledge that, of course, Trump knew. Of course. Mar-a-Lago was the hunting ground for Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. And Trump allowed it, of course. I think that Michael Wolff obviously should get a little bit more attention on the fact that he worked pretty hard to work with a human trafficker. Yes, he has thousands and thousands of tapes. Yes, he understood workings of Jeffrey Epstein and Trump's relationship. But at the end of the day, like him emailing Epstein so much, I think needs to be talked about more. I think what's really important is that the Republicans are going to say, Democrats had this all along. Why didn't they say anything? Because they were protecting Bill Clinton. No one gives a fuck about Bill Clinton. We only care about justice. We only care about the justice for the victims and survivors. That's all I care about. Fuck Bill Clinton. The fuck? He's a pedophile. I don't care about him. Fuck that. I don't care about Bill Gates. Fuck him too. Like, this is the difference between Republicans and everyone else. They think we care. No, we just don't want pedophiles in the White House or Congress or anywhere in power. And we want accountability. More things are going to come out, but I'm finally excited that people actually are realizing, hey, maybe we should just believe women and girls and victims and not just say we need decades of information, but we need to stall it because it's really, really hard to believe girls and victims because we never do. Just believe fucking victims is what this entire story is telling me about. But yeah, no, this does not look good for Trump. Also, Nancy Mace is freaking the fuck out. And it's really funny because she's like, this is against the survivors. I'm a survivor myself. Bitch, me fucking too. And yet, I'm not the one that sided with a pedophile and put her entire career on it. So go fuck yourself, Nancy Mace. I hope that Virginia Giuffre is smiling down and saying, fuck you, Donald Trump. And I hope Jeffrey Epstein is rotting in fucking hell in the lowest depths of Dante's Inferno. That's all I'm hoping for.